Now, a group of Japanese firms are planning a test flight next year for the nation's first ever homegrown stealth fighter jet. The consortium, led by Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, is reportedly developing a jet that is made up of similar technology to the US-made F-35 stealth fighters. Our Kim Ji-yeon reports.
As tensions continue to rise in the Indo-Pacific, especially between China and the United States, Japan is no longer sitting quietly on the sidelines. Once bound by its post-World War II pacifist constitution and heavy reliance on the United States for security, Japan is entering a new era. It is one marked by military innovation, global collaboration, and an ambitious plan to reassert its power in the skies. Leading the charge is a groundbreaking new fighter jet project, which could elevate Japan to the top ranks of global military aviation. The pacifist constitution and its legacy. Following the devastation of World War II, Japan adopted a constitution that emphasized peace. Article 9 of this document strictly prohibited the nation from engaging in warfare or maintaining offensive military forces. For decades, Japan's self-defense forces operated under this restriction, focusing solely on homeland defense. Protected under the security umbrella of the United States, Japan was able to rebuild its economy, modernize its industries, and avoid major military investments. However, this era of quiet development is now giving way to a renewed sense of urgency. Changing security dynamics in the region have prompted Japan to revisit its defense policies. The rise of China and continued aggression from North Korea have exposed the limitations of relying solely on American protection and passive defense. Regional threats push Japan toward action. Japan's shift in military posture is largely in response to mounting regional threats. China's assertive military expansion in the South and East China Seas, frequent air and naval incursions near Japanese territory, and economic retaliation for Tokyo's support of Taiwan have heightened concerns. Simultaneously, North Korea's repeated missile launches and nuclear threats serve as a constant reminder of Japan's vulnerability. Faced with these dangers, Japanese leaders concluded that greater self-reliance in defense was necessary. In a significant policy shift, Japan pledged to increase its defense budget to 2% of its GDP by 2027, bringing it in line with NATO standards and nearly doubling its current defense spending. This financial commitment is now fueling a wave of advanced military projects. Introducing the F-X Godzilla fighter jet, the centerpiece of Japan's new defense ambitions is the Mitsubishi F-X, a sixth-generation stealth fighter jet that has earned the nickname Godzilla for its size, complexity, and formidable capabilities. This aircraft is intended to replace Japan's aging fleet of F-2 fighters in the 2030s and is designed to be one of the most powerful jets in the world. Unlike previous fighter projects, which relied heavily on foreign partnerships or US oversight, the F-X is an entirely domestic initiative. With this jet, Japan aims to achieve strategic independence while also setting a new global standard for air combat. The X-2 Shinshin. Japan's journey toward developing the F-X began with the Mitsubishi X-2 Shinshin, a prototype stealth jet built to test next-generation technologies. First flown in 2016, the X-2 featured an array of advanced systems including thrust-vectoring engines for enhanced agility, a fiber-optic fly-by-wire control system, and radar-absorbing materials for stealth. The aircraft measured approximately 14 meters in length with a 9-meter wingspan. It weighed around 13 tons and could fly at supersonic speeds. A standout feature of the X-2 was its self-repairing flight control system, which could adjust automatically if its aerodynamic surfaces were damaged, allowing the plane to continue flying safely. The success of the X-2 gave Japan confidence to move forward with a full-scale next-generation fighter development effort. The F-X fighter. Launched officially in 2020, the F-X project represents a massive leap in aerospace engineering. The aircraft will be powered by two XF-9 engines, each capable of delivering over 20 tons of thrust. These engines feature 3D vectoring nozzles for high agility and stealth-compatible design. Stealth is central to the F-X's mission. The aircraft will incorporate radar-absorbing materials, concealed weapon bays, plasma-based stealth systems, and twisted air intake ducts that reduce radar visibility. The jet sensors built using gallium nitride will include active electronically scanned array radar, infrared search and track systems, and passive radio wave detectors to locate even the stealthiest of enemy aircraft. Inside the cockpit, pilots will use an advanced helmet system with dual-eye displays, voice control, 3D audio, and real-time tactical awareness. The aircraft will also be capable of managing swarms of autonomous drones, known as loyal wingmen, that can support missions by identifying targets, deploying munitions, and defending the main jet. The birth of Global Combat Air Program. Recognizing the immense cost and technical challenge of creating a sixth-generation fighter, Japan joined forces with the United Kingdom and Italy in 2022. This partnership merged Japan's F-X program with the UK's Tempest project, forming the Global Combat Air Program. Together, these three nations are working to produce a state-of-the-art multi-role fighter that is not only a technological marvel, but also a competitive option in the global arms market. The Global Combat Air Program will help distribute development costs, share technological expertise, and offer all participants a viable platform for future exports. Engineering excellence from three nations. Within Global Combat Air Program, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries and British Aerospace Systems are co-leading airframe development. Japan's GCAP Corporation is working with Rolls-Royce to develop the engines. Italy's Leonardo is tasked with designing advanced avionics and radar systems, while MBD UK is in charge of weapon systems integration. The Global Combat Air Program jet will be about 30% larger than the current Eurofighter Typhoon. It features a delta wing design optimized for range and payload rather than extreme maneuverability. The wingspan will be around 54 feet with a total wing area comparable to an Airbus A320. The design resembles the American F-111 bomber, suggesting a focus on stealth, speed, and long-range capability. Advanced weapons and smart systems. Japan intends to equip the Global Combat Air Program with a formidable array of weapons. This includes the Meteor long-range missile, Spear 3 precision munitions, and Japan's homegrown ASM-3 anti-ship missile. Additionally, a new jointly developed weapon called the Joint New Air-to-Air Missile is in progress. It will combine Japanese radar guidance with a British ramjet engine and is expected to reach speeds near Mach 3.5. The radar system, being developed by Leonardo, will use a network of small antennas and receivers to gather massive amounts of information in real time from both air and ground. The jet will also employ augmented reality in the cockpit and artificial intelligence for drone coordination, flight support, and threat detection. Timeline and production goals. The first test flight of a Global Combat Air Program technology demonstrator is scheduled for 2027, while full operational deployment is expected around 2035. In 2024, the UK allocated £230 million toward engine development and testing, with plans to create thousands of new aerospace jobs. As part of the program, developers plan to use 3D printing and digital twin technology to streamline production and reduce costs. The long-term goal is for Global Combat Air Program to replace the Eurofighter Typhoon in the UK and Italy and the Saab Gripen in Sweden. Domestic concerns and legal uncertainty. While the F-X and Global Combat Air Program projects are technologically promising, they have sparked legal and ethical concerns within Japan. Critics argue that such aggressive militarization may violate the spirit of Japan's pacifist constitution. Others worry that an enhanced military could inflame tensions with neighboring countries rather than deter them. Former defense official Kyoji Yanagisawa has warned that building more advanced weapons may increase Japan's risk of being targeted, rather than making it safer. Constitutional law expert Yasuo Heisubi has raised similar concerns, stating that it's difficult to determine whether military actions, such as preemptive strikes, are legal under Japan's existing laws. Yet, the Japanese government has provided little transparency or public explanation on how these plans align with constitutional constraints. Self-defense matters. Japan's new defense posture is also influenced by global conflicts, especially the war in Ukraine. Observers note that countries willing to defend themselves are more likely to gain support from allies. Japan hopes that by showing its readiness and capability, it will strengthen its security partnership with the United States and other allies in the Indo-Pacific. At the same time, there is recognition in Tokyo that the United States may not always be able to prioritize Japan's security, especially if crises emerge elsewhere. A stronger Japanese military ensures that the country is prepared to stand alone if needed. Thanks for watching. If you found Japan's military transformation as fascinating as we did, hit that like, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a future update on global defense, military tech, and the latest from around the world.